All right, we are at the home base here, Armbrust Pro Gym in the morning. We are going to do some cardio now. So what I'm doing right now is we're doing 4 sessions a week at 20 minutes, 4 or 5 sessions. You know, like I've pointed to in other videos, it's, you know, through my via training and metabolism, I'm able to, like, you know, the intense training that we bring, I don't have to do as much cardio because my body responds very well to that. So it'll lean out, you know, through that process, through the diet. So cardio is something that it's a nice tool we can use to, hey, we need to push a little bit more, let's actually add some more in. But baseline is just 20 minutes, you know, usually doing the recumbent bike. I like to do the bike just to kind of save the legs. I think, you know, if you do too much Stairmaster, you can wear down the legs a little bit. So I'm huge on, you know, trying to protect the leg density, leg size. So I'll do a little bike. But if we need to, we always have that resource to, you know, push it and go onto the Stairmaster, go onto the treadmill, go a little bit higher intensity. But what you do is you set a really good base. So my base right now is like 4 or 5 sessions of 20 minutes on the bike. And then as we lead into the show, we have these tools now to, you know, add more in, and I'm going to respond to that. What I think a lot of people mess up at is, like, you know, you'll start prep and you're like, right away you go into 6 sessions of 45 minutes. You know, 10 weeks out you're at 6 sessions of an hour. You know, 8 weeks out you're at, you know, 7 sessions of an hour and 20. So where do you go from there? I mean, like, you can't, it's going to be hard to keep changing and seeing progress if your cardio is already so high. So my advice there is you know, have a quality off season that you don't get too out of shape, so that, you know, you guys see me in the off season, I stay relatively, you know, in a good spot, and that comes down to nutrition, that comes down into, you know, determination, that comes down to living the lifestyle and knowing the long-term goals. So not getting sloppy, you know, eating with a plan, eating with, you know, always looking forward. So since I stay such good shape in the off season, I mean, relatively speaking, prep doesn't have to be so full of cardio, and then I can use it as a tool here at the end. So when we really need to push that extra conditioning at the end, I'll add in 10 minutes and it responds really well. So little pointer for you guys, don't just think, hey, prep starts, I'm gonna throw in an hour of cardio daily, because then you can't respond to that. So set a good base, and then use that tool to either fluctuate from, you know, if I'm ahead of schedule, then I will, you know, I'll just back off of cardio. So it's cool to just have this cool base, you know, this nice base I have right now, and then we'll adjust things as we get a little bit closer. But for now, we're in a good spot, as you'll see. So let's go get that 20 minutes done. Then we're gonna do some posing. I probably won't show you guys too much. I'll just show you a little bit. He'll throw some clips in there, what we're looking like. I'm trying to save a little bit for the Arnold, because this is gonna be awesome. So we'll show you a little bit of what today looks like, and then I'll finish with a few abs today, and I'll show you what my ab routine is. I have I have different ones depending on the day. I usually do the abs like 4 or 5 days a week right now in the morning, maybe even 5 or 6. I always come in and do something, you know, stretch, you know, work on vacuums, work on abs. So I'll show you a few that I really like to do here that I feel works really good for my core to keep my waist smaller, that you guys can use. So with that said, let's go get after this morning. Every session is another opportunity to get better, and I can't wait for the next 6 weeks. Let's go. All right, so change of plans after I gave you that speech about how I'm only doing the bike. Both the bikes are taken right now, so we are gonna do the treadmill. So walking on the incline here, I'll set it at like 7 on the incline and probably 3.3 to 3.5 speed, just a steady pace here. Get a little sweat going. Main thing is trying to get that heart rate over 110 beats per minute. Just getting into that, you know, that cardio burning zone, or that fat burning zone. So I'll do that for 20 minutes here, and then we'll, you know, regroup and do some posing. So let's get this going. All right, so we're getting into the hanging leg raises here. I really like In general, this is one of my favorite ab exercises, mainly because everything comes from the waist. So you're lifting your legs through your lower waist, your lower abdominal into your waist. So that's kind of the focal point. So this is kind of how you can attempt to shrink your waist, or create that illusion that it is smaller. So it's all gonna be like that lower ab area. I'll usually start with these. So what I do is I'll do 4 rounds of probably 25 reps each. Do what you can. Like starting out, when I started it was like 15 and it was 20, now 25. So build your way up, because you'll obviously get better at it. The main thing is complete control. So don't swing back and forth. Your upper body's gonna actually stay completely vertical. Nothing's gonna move there forward and back. So this is really where you have to focus on core control, balance, and then lifting your legs through your abs. So watch how I do this here. Make sure you're 100% on it. And then these are deadly, man. Like I said, these are overall complete core builders and one of my favorite exercises. Okay, so done with the hanging leg raises. So what do I like to go into after that? So with the hanging leg raises, we're just hitting mainly just the front abdominal wall there. What we want to work on as well is the sides. So this is where there's a lot of question. How should you train your obliques? Should you train them? Should you use weights? My advice here is that you don't actually ever use weights with obliques. So don't, when you see people with grabbing a dumbbell or grabbing a plate and doing the side twist, that's actually terrible for you. I mean, not terrible for you, it's actually building up, creating more muscle there, but you don't want to actually create more muscle on your obliques as a competitor. For other sports that might be, good. I remember I did it all the time back in college football. Looking back at it, I was like, I didn't really know why. But, now with what we're doing with bodybuilding, we don't want to build the sides, we don't want to build the obliques. So choose exercises that aren't necessarily building those, but we're still, trying to, shred down fat there, trying to bring those, the striations in, trying to, create that illusion of the waist going, the waist smaller coming down from the lats. So that's how I truly believe this works really well, because you can just feel everything tightening up while you're doing this. So I'm gonna do both sides. How I'll do this is I'll hold it for 45 seconds. So you go up and do a side plank, you're on one arm, you're on that same side on that foot, and you're holding, you're holding your body up, via your oblique on that side. So I'll have a little watch usually on my, I'll use my watch right here, just time it out, and get locked in and make it tough, like you're here to work. So what I do is I kind of bounce sometimes a little bit just to kind of feel that and flex it a little bit more. But it's all about, feeling your body work here. It's all about, knowing what you're trying to create and envisioning it and then bringing it to life. So like I said, hanging leg raises into obliques, that's what we're gonna do for today. I have a couple other circuits I do, but this is the one I'm gonna show you today. Go try this out and start working on that core, get that small waist.
Or do like 10 or 15, whatever you do.
should have added more water. It's pretty chunky. All right, guys, just got back from the gym. So start out the day with some fasted cardio. We did some posing and then finished with abs. So it is 8:54, so almost 9 o'clock. This is usually actually when I get my first meal in because I like to do all that fasted. I actually enjoy getting up, going and doing cardio, taking pictures, posing. I'm doing that all fasted, and then I'll start my day eating usually right around 9, and then eat every 2.5 hours probably usually from that. So I'm going to take you through kind of what a day looks like right now. So this is my current diet, 6 weeks out from the Arnold. And as you've probably seen, or if you've followed me in the past, you know kind of what's looking here. I've done a video with, this can be either like a mass gainer shake, it's just a meal replacement shake. With me, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So we keep this in as meal 1, except now that we're, with the goal of dieting down for a show, leaning out, you just reduce the amounts, you reduce the macros on this, but they can still serve as a meal. So I really like this meal because it's easy. It goes down very, very easy. It's good for when I have to, either work in the morning or I'm busy or running around. I can just take it with me to go do the cardio, the posing, abs, and then I can just have my shake on the go. And then that way I don't have to come home and make a meal, waste time that way. So this is very efficient, very fast, a good, easy, either big, you can add more stuff to it to become like a mass gainer shake, or it can just be even a diet shake. So what I'm doing currently, what we have here, it's gonna be consisted of eggs, egg whites, blueberries, peanut butter, and then this is some ground up oats. So you have to grind up the oats. I have this separate little grinder. You grind up the oats first. So I use quick oats. I grind them up into this like powder. It's just a condensed form. And then I'll put this into the shake, this Ninja, and then I'll use the Ninja blender to grind it down even more with everything else. But you gotta do that kind of first to kind of break it down more. I guess technically you don't have to, but then it's kind of chunky and stuff. So grind the oats and then use that powder. I call it almost like oat flour a little bit. So that's all created here manually. So amounts for that. So what like I said, I'm still, as you'll see, I'm still eating, decently, here. We've been able to progress pretty well without having to cut too much food yet. So that means we're on track. Everything's going like we want it to. So what that looks like is I'm going to do, everything's weighed out here, 13.5 ounces of egg whites. So that's what I got here. Fill that up. Okay, so 13.5 egg whites. I'm still doing 2 eggs, so I'll do 2 eggs in here. Like I said, I know some of y'all are gonna be scared of last time I showed this, people freaking out about salmonella and shit like that. I have been just fine with it. I digest it extremely well. I don't have any issues. This is with digesting this at all, and I don't get sick. So don't be so scared about salmonella. You're eating far worse shit in your normal diet. Don't worry. All that processed food you guys are eating, trying to tell me not to drink whole eggs. Yeah, whatever. But for real though, what else we got here? So 2 eggs, 13.5 egg whites, 13.5 ounces of egg whites. I have, are just 50 grams. So this is what's down there. It's 50 grams of blueberries. So these are kind of the only berries or fruits I get throughout the day, just here in meal 1. Okay, and then I'll flip that over. And then I'm doing 125 grams of the oat flour, I call it. All right. Peanut butter, 20 grams of peanut butter. So you'll throw that kind of on top here. I kind of just guess it here first. That was exactly 20. I've gotten pretty good at that, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of eyeball it pretty well. Then finally, I still do, I'll probably cut this out in a few weeks. We'll see, yeah, probably about 3-4 weeks out. Right now, it's not a factor. I just do a little, literally a couple pumps of this Simply 5 Hershey syrup. This is just solely for taste. Obviously, there's no nutritional factor here, really, besides a little bit of sugar, but it just makes that shake, it makes it taste a lot better in general, and it kind of mixes well with the peanut butter and the oats and everything. But like I said, as we get closer to the show and we want that final detail, I'll take that out. I'm not scared of it right now. Like I said, we're still burning through everything really good, you know, very good conditioning right now. So I keep that in until I feel like, you know, I need that final detail and everything exactly on point. So that's all good there. What I'll do now is I'll grab the Ninja blender. Honestly, these Ninja things are freaking awesome. I use this almost 2-3 times a day with different stuff. Well, not right now, but in the off season and stuff. But you just throw the cap on it. It blends real quick. You can throw a drinking cap on this, and then it's good to go. So one of the coolest investments I've had. Just come over here, blend her up. Doesn't take much. So as you see, if you saw my last video of that masking or shake of this, it was a lot thicker. You know, wasn't this runny, so you'll see that we reduced the carbs out of it. So I mean, still quite a bit of carbs there. I mean, 130 grams of oats is still, you know, a cup and a half, a little bit over that. So I'm still getting some food there, but it's just not as chunky as it was in the off season. So like I said, you know, you don't need to go into, if shit's working in the off season and if you're getting used to foods, you're digesting them well, you can still use those in the on season. It doesn't mean you like, if you're on prep mode, doesn't mean, oh, I got to switch to fish. I got to do fish, this, and this, because I saw that online. No, you got to do what works for your body. So that's something, you know, I've really learned over these years is the least amount of changes as possible is honestly kind of better. So get things, you know, get your body used to certain things so you know how you're going to respond from it. You know how everything's going to kind of consistency, you know, with that consistency, you know how everything's going to go in, day out. So when there is something off or if you need to change something, you know, I know if I drop, you know, 20 grams of oats here, that my body's going to respond because that's 20 less, you know, that's, you know, 10 less grams of carbs. But my body will respond to that, even though it's such a, you know, significantly small change. But everything is always consistent. So main thing is just set your base plan, get used to your foods, get used to your diet, and then you can make the manipulations, the changes to create those responses. So get that base set, then you're good to go. So gonna get this meal down. Like I said, just drinking here. I'm gonna do a little computer work here while I'm drinking it. Get the morning started, and then we'll come back. Next meal is actually gonna be our pre-workout meal. I like to train late morning, usually after 2 meals in, and we'll go over all that for today. All right, cheers. All right, meal 2 is about to go down. So this is my pre-workout meal. I like to train after 2 meals. You know, different reasoning behind that. I think you need to obviously have food in you before you train. So when people do fasted morning workouts, I'm not huge on that. But I'm also not huge on waiting until the end of the day after you have like 5-6 meals in you, because I just feel, you know, in myself, feel a little bit more lethargic in general. You spend all day eating, so obviously digestion's ramped up, you know, you're passing stuff. So I find the happy spot for me where I'm really comfortable in my training, you know, I feel like I respond the best is after 2 meals. So usually around noontime, 11:30 to 12. So what my pre-workout will be, this has kind of been a staple for me forever. I mean, not forever, but at least the last, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, is I always have done, you know, and this was something that John Meadows passed on to me, is the cream of rice. You know, cream of rice is great because, you know, it's easily digestible. It's very, you know, granulated and fine, so that like it sits very well in your stomach. So I know, like, when I eat that, like, it's not something I'm going to be burping up or throwing up during a workout, because when I eat it, it stays in me. So what I'm at right now is I'm doing 8 ounces of chicken. So this is just chicken breast, 8 ounces of that. And then in here, I have the Pride Foods. Like I said, the best cream of rice I've ever had is from Pride Foods. It's called Rice and Grinds. So I have 120 grams of this, of the dry measure of Rice and Grinds. So that equals out to probably 95 to 100 grams of carbs. So this will be pre-workout, 120 grams of Rice and Grinds from Pride Foods, and then 8 ounces of chicken, just the basics, like I said. But this is going to fuel me for the leg workout we're about to do. And then we'll wrap up and I'll show you what my post-workout looks like. Meal 2 going down. All right, we just got done killing hamstrings. It was a good session. With that said, I am doing my post-workout meal. So this is what I call technically meal 3 on the day. Something quick. You usually, post-workout, you want to get something in that's gonna digest fast. You need to refuel the body after burning all that glycogen. So what I'm doing here, and we're keeping in probably until about 2 weeks out, is I'll do about 60 grams worth of protein from whey isolate. So for me, it's the ISO H1 from Hostile. This is the cookie one. So this has little pieces, little chunks in there, but I'm still using it. This is probably the best protein I've ever had. I really like this. It's an oat milk cookie flavor. It's just really tasty and kind of my only treat I'm getting right now, and that's okay. It gets the job done. So there's 60 grams of protein from that, and then I'm doing more cream of rice. Big fan of it. The rice and grinds for Pride Food. This is 120 grams. So post-workout, 120 grams, like I said, that equals out to about 100 grams of carbs, 95 grams of carbs. So I'll do this immediately post-workout, and then I'll eat again here in probably hour and a half, 2 hours. But get something quick, fast. These two will digest very quickly. Like I said, I feel it go through me really, it doesn't take long for it to get completely digested, and then you can move on to more meals. So I'm going to get this in, keep going on my day, and we'll see you in a little bit. All right, here we are. We are back from the gym. We already had meal 3 with the post-workout, so this is the next whole meal after the post-workout cream of rice and protein powder. So what we have here is 8 ounces of chicken, and then we have 200 grams of sweet potato. On top of that is I also add 20 grams of almond butter. Today I'm going to use, I actually just got this in the mail yesterday. So this is a new company I'm working with. Fit Butters. I actually got a bunch here. They make a bunch of different flavors. This one's like a red velvet cheesecake. This is going to be my favorite, I know. It's a monster cookie peanut butter. And then lastly, a sea salted chocolate truffle peanut butter. So they have different blends. Like this one's a cashew almond blend. They just have an almond blend. They have peanut butter. They all have some protein in them as well. But they're all, I've tried them in the past and they're amazing, and so I was fortunate to link up with them. So if you want to try them out, make sure you go to Fit Butters. And then also you can use code Butcher there as well. So we're going to give this a try today. I haven't had this one yet. This is the cinnamon sugar cookie. So I'll do 20 grams of that. So what I like to do, I'll kind of spread it out as we go too, but I like to let it kind of melt on the sweet potato here. Exactly 20 there. And then if you haven't ever done this, I highly advise it. So if you eat sweet potato, I like to add a little cinnamon to it, as well as sea salt. So if you have almond butter, cinnamon, sea salt on your sweet potatoes, it's very, very good, and especially with chicken. So like with that meat, if you mix it all up together, I almost make kind of a little bit of a mashed potato with it, and just put it all together, and it's easy to get down. So this is meal 4. And then we'll come back, get meal 5 in and meal 6. Like you see, I'm still eating quite a bit around my training with the cream of rice, potatoes here now, and that just shows we're on schedule. Everything is feeling good in regards to where my physique is, where we're sitting at from the Arnold, and I continue to utilize this food in my training, and everything is rocking. So I'm gonna get this down. Watch a little TV, and we'll be back here in a little bit for meal 5. We are on meal 5 now, so this is probably one of my favorite meals. It's just that, that traditional steak and rice. You can't beat it. I have that year-round, just, varies on the amounts. So what I'm doing right now, so on this baseline plan, what we're doing, so this is just a normal day for me. Like I said, we have a baseline day and a high day. So today's just a baseline day. On this, it's going to be 9 ounces of steak or ground. This is red meat in general. So lean ground beef is what I'm usually using. I'll vary. I'll cook a steak probably 2 or 3 times a week. But if I'm a little bit busier on the run, I have this ground beef already made by Eat Hungry House. So that's a local company here in Denver. So I have some good friends that own that company, and they do very, very good. So if you're in this area, I definitely say to try that, because they do all my proteins. So I really like to, it's very convenient. So what that's gonna look like, I'm gonna warm this up real quick, and I'm gonna show you what the rice looks like. So getting back, I'm almost scared to kind of show you guys this, because last time I showed you this on a different, I think it was Hostiles YouTube, all of a sudden they've gone missing. Now I can't find them at Costco anymore because you guys went and bought them all. So that's all right. I'll figure it out either regardless. But this is my favorite rice. So I think it's called Bibigo, or however you pronounce that. It's a cooked sticky white rice. So what happened with me is in the off season I was eating so much rice, like 250 to 300 grams per meal, that it was getting so hard to get down just normal rice out of a rice cooker. Somebody pointed me in the direction of this, and it kind of honestly changed my life. So what I mean by that is it's just a lot easier to get down. I don't know what it is. It's not like it has sugar in it or anything. It's just, it's basic. It has this one packet right here is 70 grams worth of carbs. So 70 grams of carbs in this rice packet. And that equals out to what's on my plan. So one cup works perfect for me right now for a baseline day. But regardless, it's very, very, let me start this. Regardless, it's very, very good. It mixes with other foods very, very good. So I'm able to, if I need to on my high day, I actually eat 2 of these. So I'll do 2 in it with the beef, and I can get that down no problem. So it allows me to get, a lot of rice down that I normally can't do with just, cooked white rice. So those Bibigo rice packets from Costco are a game changer. So if they're there, make sure you try them, and let me know what you think. So with that, of course, we got to do some butcher sauce. I don't know if I've talked about this. I haven't talked about it on my new YouTube yet, but this is from Flavor Gang. I'm sponsored by Flavor Gang. It's a company Ross Finnegan started. They do a very, very good job. So I'm just going to shout them out real quick. We have a lot of options here. If you know, Nick Walker has a sauce. It's called the Mutant Sauce. This is the Yummy Sauce. We have I use this on my chicken, the Takeout Sauce. The flavored on sauce. So they probably have 8 to 10 sauces. But what these are is they're prep friendly sauces. So they're all low calories. Like this is only 5. This is 10. I've continued to use these during this prep. You don't go crazy on them like any condiment sauce, but they give you a great alternative and they taste really, really good. So mine personally, I use on all my beef meals. So this is an herb steak sauce. So it's kind of like a chimichurri, like a dipping sauce. So you kind of just, I really like it, with steak. You can do it with your chicken as well. But it's kind of got, almost a little bit of an Italian kick to it as well. So give it a try. You can get it at theflavorgang.com. It's currently not out right now. I think it's going to be re-released actually the week of the Arnold. So he said that they're doing it in production again right now. It was actually such high demand that they had to take a little step back, make more, and then they're going to re-release. So I appreciate everybody that's already got it for me. Go there, use code BUTCHER, and get you some of the butcher sauce, the guaranteed butcher gains right there. Yes. All right. So steak is done. We're gonna go that. So all this one's, like I said, I like this one because it's really easy too, especially on a baseline day. I just have this. Really just dump this in here. Mix it up. And add some salt and some butcher sauce and we'll be good. So again, 9 ounces of steak and 70 grams worth of carbs on the rice. So if you're weighing it out yourself, or if you want to know, this is about 220 grams if you wanted to, break it down to if you needed to weigh out the rice. Prep. We talked about this. No sharing on prep. I need this food. Okay? You stay there. Matt will be mad. Finishing out the day here. This is the last meal, so we had to do an audible. I talked to Matt and he wanted to keep weight up for tomorrow, so we kind of checked there, see where we're at. We're really being a lot of communication right now with where we're at in prep. So he decided to do a high meal for this last one. What that means is usually I do for my last meal on the baseline, if it would have been normal, I would have done 130 grams of oats and 20 grams of almond butter. Instead, with this being a high day, on our high day meal plan, it's 150 grams of cream of rice, or rice and grinds from Pride Foods, and 30 grams of almond butter. So this is a big meal, you know, that's probably 130 grams of carbs and, you know, probably 15 grams of fat, or 20 grams of fat, I mean. So it's a bigger meal, but we want to, you know, fuel up for tomorrow because it's a big training session. So that'll be ending it out for today. This is a normal, you know, probably a pretty normal day for me right now, being, you know, 5 weeks out from the Arnold. So we'll slowly lower food into it, but right now we're in a really good spot, so we can eat up and keep training hard. So progress is all we're doing. So that was a full day of eating, and I'll see you next time.